If you have to go on a trip on a budget, you shouldn't be going. If it's your body, your choice, it's gotta be my wallet, my choice. I challenge any e-com influencer right now to show me your store. No ads, none. You know, I'm learning now.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't have to do anything at all, what would you do? I think that's...
See, I'm not gonna lie.
That
is a personal goal of mine, actually. Just,
yeah.
I want to see what it feels like for like 2 months.
Yeah, I want mailbox money. Like, I work my ass off right now. I was like, if you were giving it, and I think that's the big thing with me. I'm like, I'm sitting there talking to her. I'm like, I'm trying to understand her thought process. And if you can do anything you want and everything's taken care of, like, what would you do?
You want to be honest with you? I'd learn. I'd create.
But that's what she does. She learns. She has little hobbies and stuff like that.
That's what I'm saying. If everything was taken care of, I never had to work another day in my life, and all I had to do was literally sit here like this and do nothing. Honestly, I'd probably find something that not necessarily just bettered me, but bettered other people as well. Like, don't put yourself in harm's way, but adventure, enjoy. Like, not everybody can say they've been to California, Vegas, the Mykonos, or wherever, all the places we've been. And not necessarily saying everybody can get there, but if you have everything paid for, why not take a road trip and just enjoy?
Everyone wants to go take these trips, right? Everybody wants to go do whatever the fuck they want to do. Yeah. But their basic needs aren't met. So it's like, or at least it's their needs are only met if they're actively working.
Yeah.
If you're hot girl summering it up and you can't replace that money, you are destined to work until you fucking die. And I don't care what anyone said, oh, you should have as much fun, you're only young, blah, 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 blah. I mean, okay, I get it, but do that. If you do that shit in your fucking 20s and 30s, your shit is gonna be fucked up later on in life. I know plenty of 30 and 40-year-olds who is turning up in their fucking 20s and regret that shit now. Like, oh, you're making memories. Okay, are memories gonna pay your fucking student loans? Are they gonna pay for your kids' tuition? Are they gonna pay your rent? Are they gonna?
One thing I will say about it though, if you do it correctly, which is hard.
Yeah,
when it's hard doing it that way when you like save up, spend it all. But like, let's say, okay, you meet some great people, you find some connections and everything like that. Then that leads to income later on, maybe. But like,
you still got to look at it this way. You have to have a sense of urgency when it comes to money. And the reason I say that is you need to have, like he said, income in various sorts. And the reason you need that is because, let's say, God forbid, something happens and you can't pay for your car note because you went to Europe for a month. Well, if you had money saved up because business was coming in and you're just filtering little things and then you're leaving, well, then you have money sitting there right then and there. It's not playing checkers or chess. It's making the right decision to then play checkers and chess to make more money.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, the Maldives trip, I spent a shit ton of money and still made money on that trip, though.
100%.
I'm like, so yes, it cost me a lot of money to go on that trip, but I was making money while I was on the trip.
Yeah.
So the money was still coming in. That's the problem. A lot of people are out there trying to live their best lives, but they're actively working for it. I'm like, and when you spend it, you got to come back, be broke, and then work your ass off for more. Like
that pain, and when you come back, A, whenever you come back from a trip, you're going to be a little depressed because you've been on this high from a trip the entire time. B, now you're broke, or I mean, you lost like a fuck ton of money.
Yeah, you lost 5-10 grand taking the fucking trip.
That's why I always said if I work in conjunction with people, I want to work in conjunction with them so that every time we work, we make money. It's not like okay, cool, you're going to pay me for this and then we're not going to work for another 6 to 10 months. No, the way business relationships work is you work with each other all the time. You consistently work. You consistently build and grow as a person. So like, that's why I like my mom so much. Not because she's my mother, but my mom started as a teller and is now the vice president of a bank. It's like, she worked her way up and now she does whatever the fuck she wants. So it's kind of like, I've kind of followed that since I was a kid, like looking at her like, damn, she can realistically kind of do whatever she wants, but she chooses not to because she enjoys what she does.
That's true, though.
I'm traveling somewhere, let's make a travel vlog. Right?
I mean, shit.
It's hard. I don't know why. I tried it.
It's hard.
It's not fun. No. It's not fun at all. Legit, like, unless you, I gotta figure out how, like, because I know Jay is probably chilling too. That he has time where he's chilling. But, like, how often?
Not very often.
Yeah, that's the thing.
No, it's not often.
Like,
when he's sleeping and when it's nighttime.
Yeah. And even nighttime, we're still shooting content.
Still shooting. I'm like,
you know who you should look at?
That's work.
Dude named Jeremy Austin. Jeremy Austin. He's actually a travel content creator, but he's not. He's actually incredibly famous for all the trips because he does in conjunction with like some of the airlines and a couple other places. He does kind of what Jay does. He finds like places.co. Obviously, Jay has that, but this dude has another one where he looks at all these hot, crazy places. He stays in them. He writes reviews. He does an entire content, and then he comes back. But when you see how much fun and exhilarating he's all the crazy shit he's having, it's almost like you're enjoying it with him through the video. Like that's it, and that's what I would love to do is just video my entire trip. And everybody's like, wow, like I would love to do that. What level do I need to get to do that? Well, you just need to not.
But
you're
still gonna be spending time shooting though.
Facts.
That's what most people forget.
Here's the thing though, like you hire me who shoots and edits all your shit. You're living your life. All they do is follow you. So they're gonna hate their life.
Yep, because they want to party.
Yeah, they're not gonna party, but like you're enjoying yourself and you're getting paid. You're basically the same thing. You're getting paid to do nothing at that point.
Literally.
Well, you could if you do it right.
I mean, I was out living my best life and I was still making money.
I was gonna say you had a ball in the fucking in Maldives.
But the problem, like trying to explain that to people, I'm like, yo, you guys should have fun. Like, because they're like, oh, all you do is preach work. I'm like, because you have to grind to a certain extent. Okay, you need to set yourself up so that way you're not fucking broke and destitute. Because that's what happens. Everybody want to be hot girl summering it up, botting it up, going to Miami on a motherfucking budget. If you have to go on a trip on a budget, you shouldn't be going.
Facts.
You should not. Like a good friend of mine, a couple months ago, you know, her and a friend of hers, they wanted to go to Miami, and they were like, oh, you know, we had the budget this, and I'm like, don't go. My exact words, don't go. Don't go. It's like, oh, well, we're trying to do this and this and that. You go to Miami all the time? And I was like, yes, I do. And I was like, when I go to Miami, I get to enjoy myself and I have a good time because I know how much shit costs. She's like, oh, well, we have this much money, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no.
You shouldn't have to worry about enjoying yourself.
If you have to worry about money while you're on your vacation, you shouldn't be on that vacation. You need to come home, or you should never leave, but you need to be home figuring out how to make more money. And not necessarily work for it, but maybe have a business or some type of other income that's running, so that way while you're out, you're still making some form of income, whether it be crypto investing, an Amazon store, Walmart store. I don't really give a shit. You need to have just do something. Invest in something to make you some damn money.
While you're enjoying yourself.
It never fails. Never fails. You know, all these messages I get, people like, oh, I'm trying to do this and this and this. I'm like, okay. They want to go out and buy a dope car. They want to go buy a Porsche. They want to go buy like a 911, go buy whatever. Cool. If you have to work to pay that car note, we got a problem. Okay, if that car note's like $1,000, we'll just say you get a base model Carrera, you get a 991.2. Your payment's going to be anywhere between like $800 to $1,000, depending on how much you put down, but we'll just say right around there. If you're actively working to make that payment, you are one bad month away from getting repoed, from losing everything. You are one paycheck away from losing all your shit. So you need to have some form of income coming in outside of your damn job. And that's what nobody wants to do. They want to go have all this fun. They want to live the life. They want to do all this shit, but they don't want to grind to make sure that they can keep living that life. And so I'm like, people looking at me like, why are you buying all these damn rental properties and this and that? Well, for starters, because I'm using it as a tax shelter. 2, I'm using it as a piggy bank for later. I'm buying them cash, renovating them, going to get them appraised. So guess what? I can borrow against my portfolio. If my portfolio is worth $1 million, guess what? I can borrow anywhere from 70 to 90% of that portfolio's value. So if I ever need to, or like let's say I want to buy some more rental properties, but I want to put my own cash out. I can borrow $750,000 and buy more rental properties, fix them up in there. Now I'm making more money. It never fails. Never fails. All these messages I get, people like, oh, I'm trying to do this and this and this. I'm like, okay. They want to go out and buy a dope car. They want to go buy a Porsche. They want to go buy like a 911, go buy whatever. Cool. If you have to work to pay that car note, we got a problem. Okay, if that car note is like $1,000, we'll just say you get a base model Carrera, you get a 991.2. Your payment's going to be anywhere between like $800 to $1,000, depending on how much you put down, but we'll just say right around there. If you're actively working to make that payment, you are one bad month away from getting repoed, from losing everything. You are one paycheck away from losing all your shit. So you need to have some form of income coming in outside of your damn job. And that's what nobody wants to do. They want to go have all this fun. They want to live the life. They want to do all this shit, but they don't want to grind to make sure that they can keep living that life. And so I'm like, people looking at me like, why are you buying all these damn rental properties and this and that? Well, for starters, because I'm using it as a tax shelter. 2, I'm using it as a piggy bank for later. I'm buying them cash, renovating them, going to get them appraised. So guess what? I can borrow against my portfolio. If my portfolio is worth $1 million, guess what? I can borrow anywhere from 70 to 90% of that portfolio's value. So if I ever need to, or like let's say I want to buy some more rental properties, but I want to put my own cash out, I can borrow $750,000 and buy more rental properties, fix them up in there. Now I'm making more money. Or if I hit hard times, I'm like, shit. So not only do I have my rental income coming in, now I borrowed against them and I got a big nest egg to sit tight. I just essentially mortgaged all my properties. I'm like, guys, like these are chess moves. Like I'm doing this for a reason. Like, yeah, it's building low income housing for people, and that's exactly what I wanted to do. That was one of my goals. If people follow me on Facebook, shameless plug below in the description, that was one of my goals. I was like, I wanted to start creating low income housing. Not necessarily Section 8, but put homes in places where they're like me, where your average person, or like the less fortunate can have a nice home. Because guess what? Our neighborhoods are being gentrified, right? So the hood being gentrified. Why not gentrify my own neighborhood? Simple. I'm going to gentrify my own neighborhoods, but I'm not going to make it so expensive that people can't afford to live there, that you got to move all these good people out. Because contrary to popular belief, poor people aren't necessarily bad people. They just don't make the same amount of money as other people. So if I give them something worthwhile, I'm like, hey, look, this young kid's coming in. I'm doing all this, I'm renovating all these places for you guys because I want you to have a nice place to live. You don't have to live in the fucking slums. You can live in a nice neighborhood. Now their kids see that, oh snap, this dude came in with a McLaren and he built us this nice ass house. Oh, this is cool. I want to be like him. Now you got this young kid that grows up realizing that he can be more than a ball player or rapper. He goes out, starts buying rental properties, or maybe he becomes fucking president. Who the fuck knows? He does something great. Then his children, his children's children. It's a snowball effect. So while all these people are worried about motherfucking Porsches and shit like that, I'm worried about what I can do to make a bigger difference to get power. Yeah. It's like Scarface. You got money, power, and respect. How do you get respect? You can't just have money. That's why I'm outside all the time. That's why all these other gurus, if you talk to them, you'll talk to them through DM. You ain't never really gonna see them outside. There's nobody that I can say, yo, that is in their city like that. Ever. Like if you look at all these influencers, they ain't influencing shit besides some pictures on Instagram. Some fashion trends maybe. Like they're not outside. They're not riding through Kensington. They're not going through the hood. Like I took the McLaren out to Reading because that's where the rental properties are at. I'm outside. I'm seeing people at car meets and everything else. That's how you build that respect. You get the respect, in turn you get the power. So now people are seeing like, yo, this dude, he really out here making moves. He really trying to help people. Yo, I respect that. So when you need something done, you can get it done. Simple.
Yeah, people from America that went there and started vlogging and taking photos in the tombs and all. Dude, they are in jail now. They are doing 25 years minimum It is so illegal to bring any type of video equipment, camera equipment, or anything near the tombs or the pyramids.
So here's the question: what are they hiding?
I don't think it's anything.
I don't care. I don't pay attention to world politics like that. Well, those types of politics.
I mean, do you want to talk about the most recent issue that's going on right now?
Look,
or
I'm a veteran.
Wait, what I miss?
So yeah, someone asked me that question on Instagram.
Yeah.
And about Afghanistan and what's happening, and it's like, do I feel like I wasted my time going and doing it? Do I feel like my friend's sacrifice was a waste of time and all this stuff? And that's a loaded question.
That's a fucked up question.
It's a loaded question because it's a tough one. So this is coming from someone who's done terrible things to Afghani individuals. I don't feel that it's our responsibility to do something that these people won't do for themselves. And if they're not going to go out there and police, their own country, their own territories, we shouldn't be there. We can't consistently try to train these people. Like, we've been there for what, 20 years, trying to train these people.
Yeah, that's 20
years.
9/11.
Yeah,
training these people.
What was 9/11? 03 or 01?
It'll be 20 years in
Next
what?
year.
Like no, this year in like November, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 20 years
so
trying to train these people and to stand up for themselves. And I see you looking, see you eyeballing there.
Bitch, I am single with a capital single. I don't.
Single is a hit song, huh?
Fucking A, right. I can't. Oh man, his face gonna be a good time. Face gonna be. But no, here's and I'll put to that point. And coming from somebody who's not a veteran, but who also has family that has been in there and I've had friends there for the whole time. Don't fight our battle. We did our battle.
I never understood why we were there in the first place.
It's because of 9/11, literally.
I don't know. It's a tough one. Like I feel
it was solely because of 9/11. I think, and again, that's just my personal opinion.
It's a
but
humanitarian crisis.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like after being there and actually seeing it and doing some terrible things, this is a humanitarian crisis, and I feel that yes, it is bad.
Yeah.
But there's got to be a solution where everyone can come together and be like, look, you guys have to police yourselves. We can't do everything for you. We've tried.
Well, it's like the same thing with Vietnam too. Like when my dad was in Vietnam, they see that it's just like in that same light. It was guerrilla warfare.
It
was a conflict where there's two opposing sides and we're jumping in or whatever like that.
I hate how they portrayed on the social media platforms as those fighters, those jet pilots rode off with nobody in the cargo. Their cargo had fucking 1,000 people in it and couldn't put nobody else more. What did you want them to do? That plane has a potential of crashing because it was so filled.
Yeah, that loadmaster definitely had to figure his shit out.
That's my point. He was probably flying lower than hell, making sure that if anything ever happened, he had a soft landing. But you're putting it out on all these platforms as these pilots just flew off into the night sky and didn't care about nobody, when that clearly wasn't the case.
I don't know, man. Like, it's not their job first and foremost. I mean, that's what a lot of people don't understand. People who've never served, people that's never had to kill somebody, they're gonna say whatever they're gonna say. Like,
facts.
I just let them speak their piece. I'm like, bro, until you've gone and you've actually served and done everything,
I'm not even necessarily talking about the shooting part. Go sit out in that desert for fucking 4 months with nothing.
Yeah, let me know how that works.
Tell me how much you enjoy what we have here. I am 100% about America and everything that we have.
Yeah.
But the fact that you are saying that those pilots are wrong for what they did pisses me off to the extent because you don't know what they had to do to get the 1,000 people they did on there.
It's surprising too. It's just like, see, the issue with social media in general too is that everyone thinks that they're an expert.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks that they have the answers about this. I even catch myself about this shit too. It's like how many times do you question yourself? Like, hey, do I really know what this is about?
Am I really knowledgeable about this?
Yeah.
Which is why if you look at my social media, what do I talk about? Motherfucking business.
Yeah.
I stay far away from shit that I really don't understand.
Exactly. I mean, you're not out here trying to solve abortion or anything like that. Like,
Hell
that's not
no,
your
man.
fucking job.
That ain't my job. I don't know
Yeah.
nothing about nothing when it comes to that, okay?
Yeah.
I got kids, and I'm grateful for them little, crotch goblins and all that. But, hey, I ain't got nothing to say on that. Like,
Exactly.
if you want to go get a smushmortion, you go get a smushmortion. Whatever. But I will say, if it's your body, your choice, it's got to be my wallet, my choice. It's only fair. Equality, right?
Yeah, not
It's
wrong.
equal. It's got to be equal.
Both did it, yeah.
No, but it's if that
If
wasn't
she-
like
that's
that, it's
tough,
not
man.
fair.
No,
No.
because if she can
It's-
say, hey, I want to have this child, and I say, I don't want to have this child, but she can still
Yeah.
go through with it anyway, and then I'm forced to pay.
But like, what is the process of if you say so? If you guys don't agree on that, right? Like, what happens there? You know what I mean? So
Then
still
you
gotta
come
pay.
to
I'm
agreement.
saying.
You pay.
there is no agreement. You got to pay.
Yeah, but there should be a
oh,
system.
then they have to pay. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, you got to pay child support. If she's like, I'm going to have this baby, I don't want to have this baby, too bad, bro. You got to pay.
there
Simple
should
as
be
that.
some type of system.
tough.
Or,
Yeah, but-
hey, I want to have this child, and she doesn't. In the case of my son, I'm very, very grateful for his mother for having him because she didn't want to get one. She didn't want to have no child. She's living her life now. Everything is good.
Yeah.
But back then, it was very, very rough. She was
Different.
young. She was involved in some things that she shouldn't have been. But that's besides the point. And she was like, she was gonna get a abortion and not even tell me. But her sister was like, "Yo, Rico's gonna be a great dad. He's gonna be a great," and I am, and I've done exactly what I was supposed to do. But even if she decided she was going to, I wouldn't have had a say. I couldn't have gone and be like, "No, don't do it."
You just murdered. You just killed my son. Like,
It wouldn't have mattered.
yeah.
It wouldn't have mattered, because I have no say. Like I said, your body, your choice. I wholeheartedly agree, but it should also be my wallet, my choice. And that's very controversial, but I feel that is the only way we can start getting to equality because females deserve the same rights that we have, right? They deserve to be able to do whatever the fuck that they want to do, period. If you want to do it, go do it. But we have to make it to where it is equal. And that's a
Facts.
lot of the shit. And that's like, honestly, I can say, man, we do not make it easy for it to be equal
No.
because there are certain things that women just can't do that we can do. But there's also, it brings it back to the military and shit. Like when they had ranger training for those ladies, I know they failed the ranger course. I know they failed ranger school.
Yeah.
I know they failed several sections, several times.
Why?
Because you can calculate the time that it takes. You should be done in roughly 2 to 3 weeks per phase. It took them, 6 to 8 months to finish? Which means they failed multiple times. So not only did they take the females like a year ahead of the class and give them the best nutrition, they trained them, and they got to see the STAR course.
Star Wars.
Okay, that's your land nav course. You're not allowed to see that. You have to go and do it. And if you fail Ranger School.
Yeah.
It's boom, you just go, take it. Essentially blindfolded. They were able to study all the land nav sections and they still failed. So if this is only supposed to take you a couple months, why did it take you damn near, 2/3 of the year?
Yeah.
Unless you fail
Ooh.
several times. Which
So-
means if you fail land nav, automatic wash. If you fail any of the other phases, you get washed back.
But
you get to try.
what was publicized was that they passed it.
I mean, technically they passed
So they did.
because they
Yeah.
forced them through it. That wasn't fair, and that right there, I feel ruins their case for equality
Yeah.
because we didn't make it equal. We didn't hold them to the same standard. We were like, we're going to cater to you, and that's
How
not what they're
can you?
asking for.
How can you though?
You can't, okay? Like
Yeah.
you can't. That's the problem. You can't.
No, don't.
That-
Don't do that.
Yeah, but when we're cleaning a house, we're cleaning the OnlyFans house. Cleaning it. Sweeping them out. And some of them, dropped off on their own. I mean, they got jobs and stuff. They got new jobs and
It
they
happens.
can't fulfill it. Whatever, it happens. Only a handful of girls are ever going to be able to have it be their main profession. But the problem comes in where I don't think a lot of these girls realize how much work goes into it. They have no social media following whatsoever, and they're like, all right, I'm going to make $10,000 a month.
Not even close.
Nah. Like, you know how long it takes to get there? Like, I can only help you so much. And, like, some of them don't like the managers don't like them. They have, like, no social media following, so it's very difficult. I'm like, okay, well, now we got to do this type of promo. And they're like, oh, can you pay for more promo? I'm like, I'm not going to drop 10 grand a month on promo for you if you can't even build a social media audience, because guess what? It doesn't matter how much money I spend. If you can't convert them, if they don't like you, they're not going to spend any money.
Ain't that a fact?
So I might spend 10 grand. You might get thousands and thousands of fans, subscribers there, but if you can't convert them, it doesn't do me any good, right? So
it doesn't even do themselves then.
It does, and it also doesn't do them any good. Essentially they're shooting content for no reason, and that's the problem. Like, these girls, a lot of the girls are seeing these normal everyday chicks, and they're capping on the internet. Oh, I'm top 4%. Top 4%, bitch, you ain't making no money. Like, this is what you're making.
0.04%.
When you start getting into, I say if you top 1 and lower, all right, you can make some decent money. You top 4 or 5%, it's like, what the fuck is that?
There's hundreds of thousands of people on the
But they out here capping like, yeah, this and this and this. What they don't realize is that a lot of these girls on these trips, and you can mark my words, because the trips that we take, these girls ain't paying for it. What girls paid for everybody going Maldives? Nobody. Some girls paid their way, but not all.
Yeah, but now those girls that paid their way are not paying their way no more.
Bahamas. Who paid their way? We pay for that shit. And these girls are looking at, these top tier models, and they're like, oh, they're in the Bahamas, they're in Dubai, they get Birkins.
They get to go there. There's a reason.
It's not even, it's like, I'm like, they're listening to these girls cap. I'm like, these girls are making like $3,000 a month on OnlyFans. But because you see them in the Bahamas, you see them with Birkins and all this, like, let's just be real. It's rich dudes like me that's buying the Birkins. I mean, I ain't buying no Birkins, but there's dudes like me that's out there buying Birkins.
They expensive.
When they see these chicks walking around with, Dior and all this stuff, like, generally there's some rich dude funding it. These girls ain't always in Tulum by themselves.
Facts.
You ain't seeing the dude behind the scenes funding it.
Because they don't want to post it, and he don't want to be posted either.
These chicks ain't trying to post that old dude. They out there living their best lives. But a lot of these females that are on OnlyFans, they get hyped because they're like, oh, well, this girl got this and this and this. I'm like, well, she's also been in the industry for 5-10 years. And she's showing her butthole on camera.
And she's also a bigger household name.
Yeah, like, you trying to not show your butthole on camera, which is good. Like, I don't feel that you have to show your butthole on camera. But these chicks are doing that, and they got a million followers. You got 100. And you think that you're gonna make the same, like, get the same results? Like, nah, it's very difficult, and they don't want to work. So we got to clean house. I'm like, yo, like, you.
So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
I mean, we keep doing it. We keep rocking. We gotta rock with the ones that really understand the process. That's all. It's hard. I'm not saying it's not hard, but since a lot of these girls out there are capping and making it seem like they're making all this money when they're really not. Come on, like, these chicks are, oh, I got a new condo, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yo, your condo costs like $2,200 a month. And you struggling to get that. Like, think about it. If you saw some chick driving my car around, driving my McLaren or whatever, she posting on Instagram, a lot of girls, I'm like, damn, this bitch got money. She making bread. They don't know that it's my car. They just know that this chick that they follow driving around in it. There's a lot of, like, this one chick in the e-com space. She out there driving Lambos and McLarens and shit. Those ain't her cars. They're not. Not even close. But because she out there driving the Lambo to the office. Whose Lambo? It ain't yours.
And whose office?
It ain't yours. It's not yours. But these chicks are seeing it and they're like, oh my God, she out there making bread, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, no, it's dude's car. I know him. It is his car.
We were out last weekend.
I'm like, we were on the rally together. But it's
crazy.
Unfortunately, a lot of these girls are capping. It's the same with dudes. Dudes is capping too. Like, a lot of these young cats talking about, oh, bro, I'm out here getting Shopify money. I'm making $1 million. No, you're not. Not on Shopify. I challenge any e-com influencer right now to show me your store. No ads. None. We do $250,000 a year with no ads with Speed Circuit. We can log in and show you. No ads. No influencer marketing. No marketing. None. We ain't out there asking anybody. That's how you know your Shopify brand is good. Because you can do it with no ads. None. No e-com influencer out there. None. None of y'all Shopify gurus, not a single one, can show me a store where y'all run no ads and do at least $250,000 a year. Minimum. None. And I put that on everything. All y'all should straight capping. All y'all on that bullshit. And you heard it. What you gonna do about it? Show me. Show me that proof that you run no ads. None. Not a single one. They can't. But that's it. Everyone be out there capping like, oh, I make $1 million on Shopify. I gotta run ads.